All right, what is going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another Pittsburgh Steelers 2022 NFL Mock Draft 3.0 this time.
Another pre-free agency edition. This will be our last pre-free agency mock draft for the Steelers, so we're going to get right into it with the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Zion Johnson, guard out of Boston College. Now, this is the third straight time we went offensive line in our mock drafts. In our honest opinion, the team should focus highly on the O-line via free agency, via the draft. They can't fix everything via free agency, so thus, I think, honestly, if you look at the selections at 20 that could be there, and if they're going to focus on the line in the first round, in our honest opinion, which they should, guard is most likely the most available option. So that's why we went guard here again with Zion Johnson, a guy that not only can he play left guard, but in 2020, he actually started every game at left tackle. So he has that versatility to him, but due to his size, he is mostly a left guard at the next level, and that's perfect. That is exactly where he would be, a perfect plug-and-play guy, a perfect day-one starter at left guard, right beside Dan Moore, and you can move Kevin Dotson right back to right guard.
Where he is much better, and Zion Johnson is a much better guard than he is a tackle. He can work both, but as a guard, as a young guard, that could really help revamp this offensive line day one. And the thing that I like about Zion Johnson is not only is he a great offensive lineman, not only is he a great guard, but he is also a leader on the offensive line, as he was a two-time captain for Boston College. And that's something that we are completely and drastically missing on that offensive line again. We have no leaders on the O-line.
Very true. And another thing I like about Johnson is he is very strong. He is athletic, man. He has good reps in run and pass blocking. I think this guy, if you look at the options for the O-line at 20, guard is one of the most available picks, and he would be a home run pick at 20 to fill in a much-needed position at left guard.
Someone that is so quick, so fluid on the offensive line, and the guy that can get into second gear, and when he's in second gear, you do not want to be in this man's way. Now, with the second-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kaiir Elam, cornerback out of Florida.
Now, this time around in this mock, we actually go corner pretty early because we're trying to think of many scenarios of what the Steelers could do here. Corner is obviously going to have to be a position the Steelers will have to fill in. Now, they could bring back Witherspoon. They could bring back Hayden. I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. Fingers crossed it is Witherspoon, and maybe we see them pick up a free agent, but let's say they do bring back Witherspoon. We're looking at Witherspoon starting maybe opposite of Sutton, and then maybe Norwood in the slot. That could be your starting three as of week one. Possibly. Maybe they pick up someone in free agency to compete outside with Sutton. But in this mock here, this is a pre-free agency. We're going to have them select a corner out of Florida, Kaiir Elam, who has NFL bloodlines, as his father played 7 seasons in the NFL, and his uncle, Matt Elam, was actually a first-round pick almost a decade ago for the Baltimore Ravens. So he has the bloodlines the Steelers love, and corner is a need for sure. And Elam, in my opinion, is one of the top corners in what is a stacked corner class, and that's why we have him dropping to the second, because it is that stacked. You got guys like Ahmed Gardner, you have Derek Stingley, Kyler Gordon, Trent McDuffie, you got Roger McCreary. There's many guys that could be ahead of Elam, that could be selected ahead of Elam, and that's why we have him dropping to the second round, where he could be one hell of a steal in the second. I really like Elam a lot. I think he's a sticky corner. He's very promising. He is very willing as a tackler as well, and he is only 20 years old.
So he's very young, and he's got great size for an NFL corner. He's about 6'2", close to 6'2". He's about 195 some odd pounds. The guy is a very sticky corner, like Dan said. He's very good. He's a nice tackler. He's a very physical corner. Someone that could be probably the replacement to Joe Hayden, because although Joe Hayden's play style has definitely declined due to his age, his importance and his leadership on the defense is definitely going to be missed, and I feel like Elam does carry some traits of that, especially in his young career in the NFL.
Ideally, he would replace Hayden, and I don't know if he would start day one. He would definitely compete, but knowing how Tomlin is with some of his DBs, his rookie DBs at that, he doesn't exactly start them immediately. So Elam could sit temporarily to start the season, but eventually come in as a starting outside guy.
Yeah, he works his way up the depth chart for sure.
Opposite of Sutton, opposite of Witherspoon, whatever happens via free agency. But in the second round, Elam would be a hell of a steal. Now, in the third round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Channing Tindall, linebacker out of Georgia. Now, this is an intriguing prospect because you look at Georgia, man. the last couple years, they have had a very, very stacked defense. They actually still do. They're going to have a lot of guys come into the draft this year. There's going to be a lot of guys selected very early within the first 2 days for sure. And Tindall could be one of those guys in round 3 for the Steelers or for any team at that. Tindall, we all know the linebacking core of Georgia. It's Nakobe Dean, who could be a first rounder. You got Quay Walker, who could be a second rounder. Tindall was the number 3 guy, and he wasn't a full-time starter at Georgia due to the aforementioned names ahead of him, but they still rotated him very nicely, and it wasn't until this past year he fully broke out in that role.
He got much more playing time, and he really, really stood out on the football field. And he was a big, big factor of that Georgia defense to help lead them to win the national championship. And Channing Tindall, the thing that really sticks out to this young man is he is fast. He has a lot of speed to him.
You got that sideline-to-sideline speed, which was showcased a lot when he was on the field, man. He saved a lot of plays. He showed a lot of great range, and he covered a lot of field, especially in the running game, and definitely as a blitzer, dude. Completely broke out last year. You've seen a lot of showcase talent from Tindall. Not a finished product. His coverage ability is pretty decent, but obviously needs a few touch-ups. Tindall, I don't think would start day one opposite of Bush, but he would be developed pretty nicely under a guy like Brian Flores.
Yeah, and that is something that is very promising. That is actually very exciting for any linebacker, really, that could come to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Channing Tindall is someone that really sticks out to me in this very deep linebacker class, someone that I think has a lot of potential to really be something. If I were to give him a comparison, at least in my opinion, he seems like a faster Lawrence Timmons to me. Like if Lawrence Timmons was extremely fast, if he had the speed that Tindall does, I think that's what Tindall really reminds me of. He like Tindall, in my opinion, could really be something.
Right. But when you watch that Georgia defense and Tindall was on the field, he popped out to you almost immediately just due to his crazy sideline-to-sideline speed, the range, the field he covered, the ground that he covered, the way he worked in blitz packages. I think there's a lot to enjoy on Tindall's game and what he could bring to this linebacking core for sure.
And how much room he still has to grow.
Absolutely. And I think that's very exciting for a guy like Tindall. Now, in the 4th round, obviously, we get a 4th-round comp for Bud Dupree. Not announced yet, but we're going to add it because that's expected. And in the 4th round, we go O-line again. We went defense 2 straight times after going guard first round. In the 4th round, we go O-line again with Max Mitchell, offensive tackle out of Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Now, obviously, when we said we select Zion Johnson, we move him to left guard, plug-and-play guy, and we move Dotson back to right. And a guy like Max Mitchell could come in immediately as a swing guy.
He has experience at left tackle and right tackle, so he has the capability to be a swing guy, especially early on in his career, as he would be nothing but depth, but a nice developmental prospect the Steelers can try to work up to potentially be maybe a starter in the NFL sometime in his career.
Specifically at right tackle, right beside his former Louisiana teammate and Louisiana alumni, Kevin Dotson. I think that would be good for the line. That's another young core guy you could add, bring that chemistry. I think that's a good way to build a line. Max Mitchell is a very intriguing prospect that I think we all like here. Is he has experience on both sides at tackle, which that's a great aspect. You know, the Steelers love their position versatility in their guys. And Mitchell in the 4th round could be a great project, man, for sure on this line.
And buff up the depth on the line, too.
Absolutely. Now, in the 6th round, via Kansas City, which we got from Melvin Ingram, in the 6th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers finally go wide receiver with a speedster. Tyquan Thornton, wide receiver out of Baylor. This dude's fast.
This guy's extremely fast. He ran a 4.28 at the Combine. The guy really stuck out at the Combine as he has a good bit of potential to him, and he has a lot of good size to him. He's about 6'3", but he is a bit on the skinny side as well. He's about I think somewhat on
like 175. So he is pretty bare for his size. He could add a couple more pounds, to be real with you, but don't let that distract you. And I don't normally look at 40 times. That's a great thing to have, but if you look at the list of names with the fastest 40-yard dashes, and this guy unofficially broke it, the list of names isn't really great. We all know that. So it's not the greatest accomplishment to have. It's just a mark on the Combine records, I suppose. But with Thornton, not only is he fast and does he bring the speed that we seriously need, this dude could play outside. This dude could play in the slot. And this dude has very good ball skills. And I'm impressed with his separation ability as well.
Yeah, this guy's, like I said, he has a lot of good potential to him. He's got a lot of upside. He can be very, very solid depth that we could add to this wide receiver group. He could be another one of these developmental prospects that the Steelers can try to work up into the starting lineup potentially in their young career. And Thornton, man, the thing about him that obviously sticks out is obviously his speed, to which is something the Steelers offense does not have.
It does not.
Something that we need, that I feel like we could definitely add to the wide receiver group.
And most of these wide receivers this year, as you've seen, especially at the Combine, there's a lot of fast motherfuckers in this class. But the thing with Thornton, though, that really pops out, because of his college, Baylor, our wide receivers coach, Friesman Jackson, was actually Thornton's wide receiver coach for his first 2 years at Baylor. So I think that's very intriguing and something to keep an eye on for sure.
In his last year, and he actually had 10 touchdowns. So the guy is a viable and was a viable deep threat for Baylor, and it's something that could definitely be a big add to the Steelers' offense with Thornton right here.
Without a doubt. I mean, we've missed speed at the wide receiver position on the offense overall for a long time, and that's something this guy would bring. But it's not just the speed that's going to make this guy's name. You know, very good hands, very good separation ability, and a lot more to grow on.
And a hell of a red zone target, too.
And I think pairing him back with Friesman Jackson, I think that chemistry could really work wonders for him.
It might. It really could.
Now, in the 7th round, the Steelers have 2 7th-rounders, but with the first one, they select Isaiah Pola-Mao, defensive back out of USC. Second straight mock, we go with this guy. And yes, it has something to do with the fact he's Troy's nephew. But, again, this dude is his own character. This dude is his own football player. This dude is his own baller. This dude has great range at free safety. He would be safety depth. He could work in special teams. He could work in dime packages. He could work in the box. He could work in the slot. This is a versatile DB that we all know the Steelers love in their DBs, man. He could be like another Swiss Army knife, similar to a Trey Norwood.
Yeah, exactly. Someone that you could put basically anywhere on the field, and he will try his damn best to make sure that he can make a play on the football field, and that's what he did in USC throughout his entire college career. Very good range for his size, and he's very tall, too. He's 6'4", about 205. He's pretty quick. He's very physical. He's a hard hitter. He's a good tackler.
Loves to come downhill, works great in the run game. Again, very versatile. I like this guy's potential, and the bloodlines, I think, will definitely intrigue the Steelers in selecting a guy like him.
And speaking of bloodlines, with the last pick, our second 7th-round selection, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kaiir Hayward, tight end / fullback out of Michigan State.
Now, when I look at certain prospects in this draft, this upcoming draft, there's a few guys I strongly feel like are going to be Steelers. And Kaiir Hayward is number 1 on that list. Let's be real. This dude's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Whether that's as a 7th rounder, a 6th rounder, an undrafted free agent, I think this dude is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler just because of the fact he is Cam Hayward's brother, but also because I think there is a role for him in the NFL, and I think we can bring the most out of that. Because he's a hybrid guy. He can line up in the slot, at tight end, at fullback, and the bloodlines with Hayward, I think, is a massive attraction. He is undersized to be a tight end. He's barely 6 foot, if that.
Yeah, he's about 5'11", barely 6 foot, but he plays a lot bigger and a lot taller than what his size is.
Right.
And he has a lot of versatility to him. Wherever you put this guy, the guy will try to make the best out of it. The guy will definitely try to shine.
This guy just does nothing but produce at any role he's given.
And
man.
he did a lot of that in Michigan State. He really stood out as a nice target, as a nice piece of the Michigan State offense.
I think this guy could be a very viable receiving threat somewhere in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a role for him in the NFL. He definitely showcases that. He showed a lot of talent at the Combine. He was one of those guys, to me, when I was watching the Combine, that really stood out. But anyway, guys, that's the mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let us know who you guys would like to be Pittsburgh Steelers down in the comments below.
Yeah, give us your guys' mock draft down below. This is our last pre-free agency edition before the Steelers start making moves, before they start making cuts, before they start signing folks, man. The NFL league year, the new league year, is just 1 week away. We're already seeing crazy news being broken. The NFL offseason is in full effect now. But it'll be interesting to see what the Steelers do in next week, which will determine future mock drafts for sure. But
yeah. In the next couple of days, we'll be out actually with the Steelers free agency wish list in the next couple of days. So definitely stay tuned for that.
I think it's a perfect time to put that out, as free agency is pretty much right around the corner, and the league year is just 1 week away. So we'll be out with that within the next couple of days, probably early next week, right before the new league year. But give us your guys' thoughts and your guys' mock drafts down below, and see you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!